few days ago, Rino made a tutorial where he showed how he achieved a certain layout using Elementor. And in this video, I would like to show you my take on this design using Bricks Builder. So this is the design, and he showed how he extended this green box all the way off screen, and also how these two elements overlap. So these are the two main things that I'll be focusing on. But before we dive into bricks, I just want to give a small disclaimer about Rino and Elementor. So Rino is one of my favorite WordPress YouTubers, and he even came to Serbia and we had a really great time. We even shared a stage together, giving talks. And Elementor, on the other hand, is a great tool. I love it. I've been using it for like 7 years, and in the past 2 years I moved to Bricks. I even had the chance to work for Elementor, and if you go to elementor.com/about, you can even see me with Elementor CEO, and this was my team. So I love Elementor. Elementor is still a great product. I just found that Bricks is a better fit for me. And this is how I would approach this design. So basically what we have here is we have a section, we have a container, and then we have the, I call it copy wrapper, which is this green box, which has a title and a description text. And also I have a media wrapper, like a div, and it just has an image inside it. So first, let's tackle I also recreated those different things like header and these things below. But let's first tackle the layout overlapping containers. So in the container, I will go and from Flex, I will change it to grid. And if we go to 1FR, we can specify how many columns we have. I want 10. So instead of writing 1FR 10 times, we can go repeat and then go 10, 1FR. And you can get this type of layout. If you have Advanced Themer, which is my favorite Bricks add-on, you can have a visual way to add columns. I just want to make this available for everyone that has Bricks. So repeat 10FR, we have 10 columns. Then we go to copy wrapper. And then if we take a look, we can see how many lines. So 1 line, 2, 3, and so on. Let's just seal the gap to 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I want this green box to extend to the 4th line. So I will go copy wrapper, grid column, and I will go start at 1/4, end at 4. Okay. And for the media, I wanted for it to overlap, I wanted to start with 2 and end on the last one. And on the last one, the easiest way is to write -1. And that's about the wrapping distance that I want. Now I need to overlap them vertically. So I will go to copy wrapper, and the grid row, I will say start at the 1st line and end at the 2nd one. And I will do the same for the media wrapper, and that's basically it. The last thing is to go to the container and align items center. And that's basically it. I like using this method instead of like margins and pushing things around and stuff like that. So this is the first part done. The second one is how can we extend this? Rino used an additional container. I like to use a different approach. So on the copy wrapper, I will go to states and I will go to the before state. And now we just need to add this quotes. And then we will go to the background. I will change it in a different color so it's easier to follow. So let's say, for example, it's 50 pixels width and height is also 50 pixels. So we can see it. Okay. And also I want it to change from position relative to absolute. And then let's just say top 0 and left 0. Quick note, you need to have this green box, that copy wrapper, you need to set it to relative before we do the before. So let's go back to the before. So the blue box will be relative to this green box. Okay, so I need this to be like the height 100%. So it will be the same height as the green box. And let's say 100 viewport width. So whatever the screen size is, make it that width. And let me just show you one thing before that. So if we go, if the width is 50 pixels, and if I go left minus 50, it will go to the other side. So if I go 100 viewport width, and on the left we go 100 viewport width, we will get this effect. The only thing left to do is to change the color to green, and that's basically it. And you can even like go to, you can see it scales nicely and it will follow it around. You don't need to worry about the alignment to the main container and etc., because it's attached to this component. It's not a separate entity. So yeah, in Bricks it's done. A few additional things Rino did is this overlap with margin, negative margin. I have a different approach for that as well. So basically the second section, it has this beige color, and I don't like to use negative margins if I don't have to. But the way I solve this is if I go to the hero section and I go to gradients and then I add a gradient. So it will be the secondary one, and the other one will be white, but I need to have the white on top. And it has a gradient, but if we go to, I think it was 85 and 15, then I will get a gradient that isn't really a gradient, but it has a first color and then it stops, and then has the second color. So I achieved the basically same result in a different way. This is just my preferred method. And for this icon, I have just a icon wrapper with an SVG, and the icon wrapper itself, it's set to absolute, and the width and height are 80 pixels, and it's moved 40 pixels to the right and 40 pixels to the bottom. So it has this. And if you want to have this hover interaction, you can go again to the states, hover, and just transform 10 by the y-axis, and you're done. The one thing that Elementor still has the advantage on is this motion effects. So Bricks doesn't have that level of control over these types of interactions. For this, I use Motion Page plugin. So if you go to Motion Page, it's just like mouse movement on the animation X and Y, and just translate -5, and for the Y -5 also, and that's basically it. You just need to target the right element. And I also extended the image 120% for it to have the wiggle room to move around. And when we look at it, you can see we have basically almost, this is how we started, this is where we end up, and this is the Rino's design. And for the mobile, I just made it so that the container itself has 3 rows, so repeat 3, 1FR, and the copy wrapper, it extends from the first line to the third one, and the media wrapper goes from the second line until the last one. So we still have this overlapping effect, but we chose to showcase the bed instead of the ceiling. So, and I like to have the text as high as above the fold as possible. And as you can see, it still follows the container line. So that's basically it for my take on the mobile version. And as far as this section goes, not much to it. In my version, it's just one element, so it's a heading, but it also in Bricks has the option for a separator, and this is just an icon and basic text, so not much to it. A quick shout out to the Elementor development team, because they really made huge progress in terms of deception and the number of DOM elements. So this layout that Rino made has 117 elements, but with Bricks we have 68 elements, so almost half as the Elementor one, but still Elementor is moving leaps and bounds compared to what it was a few years ago. And of course, a huge shout out to my friend Rino. Please keep making these awesome tutorials. And I want to say hi to all of my friends at Elementor. And this is it. This was my take on Rino's design. We had some really great design things to it. just to recap, I use the grid to overlap those two elements. With the grid in Bricks Builder, you can control the child elements where to start and where to end, and this is how I got the overlap. And for the box extending off screen, I just use a pseudo before element and attach it to the green box itself, so wherever it moves, it will follow it, no problem. And I hope these tutorials will help you go to the next level.